Alrighty, welcome to RTF Sports Talk Live, Tuesday morning edition, 9:45 a.m. on the East Coast. Billy, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right, man. A little early over here on this side of the world, but we all good.
Hey, we gotta do what you gotta do, man. Matthew Lyle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. This man talking about the other side of the world. He's like 5 states away. Don't let him tell you don't let him put off that he's in Fiji.
But it is what, like 7 a.m. there, 8 o'clock in the morning? Nonetheless.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you for joining us this morning here. If you are new to the feed here, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. We'll definitely interact with you as much as I can here. I am your host, Michael Buckeyes today, and we're going to jump right into it. Ohio State controversy going on the football program over there. Urban Meyer has been put on administrative leave for the actions of his assistant coach of assaulting his wife. I believe it was 2016. Matthew, we're going to start with you on this question. Is this the beginning of the end of Ohio State football, and do you see Urban Meyer coming back this season? What are your thoughts?
All right. So to answer the first question, no, this isn't the beginning of the end, and not to get in too deep. I mean, Penn State went through much worse, and look at them. They're competing for a playoff spot just a few years after the fact. Urban Meyer, I think he's safe. You got the as far as his contract goes, it's looking as if he did what was supposed to. Now, did he lie to the media? Yes. But doesn't every football coach? I think he did what was expected to him to satisfy his contract and the Title IX agreement by talking to his bosses and talking to the university. And plus, they said they're going to have this figured out in 14 days. Doesn't the season start in like 25 days? Ohio State's ranked in the top 5 in the country. They're not about to pull that trigger any sooner than they have to. So I think he's safe. And as far as the long run, I mean, worst case scenario, this might ruin a Ohio State season or two, but it's not going to take them down as a powerhouse in the long run.
All right, Billy, jump on in on that.
I'm on the opposite end of that. I do think this is the end for Urban Meyer. Now, to Matthew's other point, I do think Ohio State will bounce back. They are Ohio State, one of the most prestigious programs that we have in college football. But as far as Urban Meyer go, I think this is the end for him. The fact that he clearly lied, to the media. And if he lied to the media, that means he probably lied to his bosses. That's the reason why Zach Smith was allowed to even stay on the staff until just 2 or 3 weeks ago on the 23rd of July when he was fired for an event that happened back in 2015. Not to mention he also had an event of domestic violence back in 2009 that Urban Meyer kind of brushed to the side. So, when you look at all the events that's happened, the victim, Courtney Smith, Zach Smith's ex-wife, she exchanged texts with ESPN and showed that Urban Meyer's wife knew. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but normally husband and wife talk about everything. And normally if somebody works for you and that person's wife is calling you, telling you that they've been abused, I'm pretty sure that, he knew about it. And when he got up there on that press conference back in 2015, he said he knew nothing about what happened. He don't know anything about what happened. Now, that was a lie because he came out in the press conference on Friday and said he failed when he denied knowing the events. So how can you fail if you told the truth? It just don't make any sense to me.
Matt, you got to follow up on that?
I don't. Well, I'm not going to get too deep into this, so I'll be honest with you. I'm not 100% familiar with the entire situation. And when we're talking something that gets outside the realm of sports, I don't like to, I don't like to start gas bagging, if you will, on something like that. So I'll just kind of leave that. I don't know much about it, but I do know that both parties, Urban Meyer and Ohio State, have mutual interest in this. Urban Meyer wants to keep his job. That's his dream job. That's his alma mater. That's everything he wants. Ohio State wants Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer's already got him a championship. There's a lot of talk that this could be the year. Reports have come out that Ohio State has reported that, he told us back in 2015. He did what he was supposed to do. I don't know why he lied to the media. I don't know. Everything Billy said might be very, very well might be true, but I would not be surprised if Ohio State does a little quote unquote cover up. Oh yeah, he told us. I forgot about that. Just so they don't feel pressure to fire their main coach, because the city of Columbus is behind Urban Meyer and Ohio State. So I don't know how much too much flack they would catch if they retained him.
All right, and
I'm with you on. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I just want to clarify that being a school, if a figure at the school head hears something about a violence issue or a drug issue or alcohol issue, it is in their contract to have to report that to the school, which falls underneath the Title IX. So like people are people are kind of comparing this. Well, like if I know of somebody that's like, you know, like so like if we're at our jobs here and then somebody, you know, like if my coworker is beating up his wife, like I'm gonna get canned just because I know about it. That is not the same situation. This is a totally different situation. I just wanted to bring that to light. Sorry. So go ahead, Billy, and chime on in on that.
Yeah. Now, and Matthew, he brings up great points that the city of Columbus is behind him. You know, I read a report yesterday that over 100 Ohio State fans gathered up at the stadium at the Horseshoe, you know, chanting out Urban Meyer, saying they support Urban Meyer. Most notable among that group was Ezekiel Elliott's father, Stacey Elliott. And, you know, his comments was interesting because he said that I'm behind Urban Meyer because he taught my son how to respect women. Well, if he taught his son how to respect women, then obviously Urban Meyer ain't doing his job, because last I checked, Zeke Elliott was out at parades grabbing women by the boobs,
exactly,
you know, multiple times. So if that's what Urban Meyer taught your son, because you say he taught him how to respect women, then I'm totally confused on the situation. Now, look, I just don't understand how you can say you did everything right, but then you say you failed, and then on top of that, you say you wasn't ready to handle those questions. You wasn't ready to talk about it. What you mean you wasn't ready? You wasn't prepared? It's domestic violence.
So, Billy, the theme of, at least from some stuff we talked about, the theme of the show today is going to be me playing devil's advocate. That doesn't mean I don't agree with you. That doesn't mean you're not right. That doesn't mean that you're not making great points. It just means I'm showing you another side. So, for example, everything you said, I'm right there with you, dude. I think he should be fired. I'm right there with you. But should and would or will be are two different things, in my opinion. So let me give you an example on why this isn't going to go like this. Not to get in too much, like I said, off football stuff. Greg Schiano, they painted down in Tennessee. They painted, like they vacated, or not vacated. They vandalized and they protested. We don't want Greg Schiano. The reason they don't want him is.
Don't keep on talking about me. Fuck opinions anyway. Let them keep on talking about me.
Alrighty, guys. So it looks like we're having some technical difficulties. Look like we may have lost service with Billy and Matthew here. But just moving on to the next topic here. UNC has suspended 13 of their players. They are selling their Jordan gear, like their shoes and shorts and that kind of thing. Now the next question arises, is it just time to start paying those players for their likeness and use of their talents and that kind of thing? To answer the question shortly, I think it's yes. College coaches, colleges in general, are making millions upon millions of dollars on these athletes, and it's just, I feel it is definitely time to start paying these players. And as we get Billy back on the line here with Matthew Lyle as well, we've kind of moved on to the next topic here, guys, about the UNC has suspended 13 players. How do we move on? Because you guys,
how do we move on? The only two people talking about it lost. So it ain't like you continue the conversation with anybody.
Well, we got to keep on rolling, man. Got to keep on rolling with the show.
All right. Well, so just real quick, the last point I was going to make is they didn't want Greg Schiano because of his history, but it was really because he hasn't won. The reason they want to get it, they're all behind Urban Meyer isn't what he's teaching them, other than the fact that in 2015 he brought them a shiny championship ring. That's the only reason they're behind him. If he was losing, they'd win him out the door just as quick as anybody. Moving on. I agree with that.
All right here. Sorry about that, guys. So we lost the phone connection here. So moving on to the next topic of the day, UNC has suspended 13 of their players for selling their team gear, their Jordan gear, their shoes, shorts, shirts, hoodies, etc. So the question arises to Billy here: is it just time to start paying those players like what they deserve?
I think it's definitely time. It's been time to start paying these athletes. I mean, now they do get their scholarship stipends for playing whatever sports that they playing with. But, you know, we only dealing with, you know, mainly the major sports, football and basketball. What about the softball girls who don't really bring in a lot of revenue?
Mm-hmm.
What about the soccer girls that don't really bring in a lot of revenue, who on the bottom of that totem pole when it comes to stipend money that they get? These kids wouldn't have to sell their team issue gear if they were allowed to even work. The NCAA, even if they don't even pay them, at least allow them to get paid off of their likeness, off of their autographs, off of their signatures, off of the stuff that they work hard for. You telling these kids, listen, you can only go to school and play whatever sport you're playing. You can't go get a job, because if you go get a job, that's against NCAA violations. But here we are. We got Kyler Murray, who can sign a $4.6 million signing bonus to go play baseball, but still is allowed to play to play football for the Oklahoma Sooners this year. It's just not right. And here we are suspending guys 4 games, multiple guys 4 games for selling his stuff. Like it just don't make any sense. It's been time to start paying these players.
And just to add to that point real quick, Billy, I believe it was 2 years ago, the punter from Baylor, it was the NCAA made him suspend his YouTube channel because he was making money off of his punting skills and kicking skills from his YouTube channel that he started. I believe it was back in high school is when he started this channel. But, it's just – the NCAA is a business at the end of the day. Matthew, what are your thoughts on this? Is it time for them to just start paying the players?
I'm right there. Well, it's been time for years. I mean, when guys can only get 1 stick of butter or they can't get extra butter because that's informational benefits at Boise State, that it's time to build on to the point of Kyler Murray and the punter. I used to watch that YouTube video. That was a very well ran and put together video. It was great, I thought. And the fact that he had to put it away because he's making money, or the guy that hit the half-court shot at a raffle at a high school game has to give the money back or had to have it put in scholarship form because, quote-unquote, he used his skill as a basketball player because he was on basketball scholarship. That's all absurd. Hey, look, I'm not saying that you have to pay them because I don't have that answer. Like Billy said, you got to find enough to keep these basketball players not selling stuff for $20,000, $30,000. But you're not able to afford to pay the swimmers and the tennis players $100,000 a year. So all you do is you don't pay them anything. I'm okay with that, but let them sell their stuff. It's like Billy said, it's their stuff. Let them sell their jerseys. If they want to get rid of their rings, give them a percentage of what those random 8 jerseys that are hanging in downtown Louisville here that aren't Lamar Jackson's, but they're still number 8 Louisville. Let him sell and get some money off that. Why is everybody else making money except for these guys? And I don't want to hear the part about the scholarship, because if that's the fact, either you do that, or let's hold you to your word. This is an amateur thing. I don't want to see it on TV. I need amateur coaches. I need amateur refs, because why is everyone else around them billionaire and millionaire status, and except for them, they're amateurs?
Exactly. And let me bring up this point. Like, people keep saying that they are student athletes, and they are training for their future, for the NFL, for the NBA, etc. Now, let me bring up this topic. We go to school, like teachers, they go to college to learn how to teach. They are able to get jobs as substitute teachers and get paid. They are able to student teach to get paid to perfect that craft. For when they graduate college, they are great teachers. So shouldn't we allow the players to do the same?
Well, it doesn't even have to go into things like that. It goes into whatever makes the university the most money. Example, the university makes more money off Lamar Jackson and Kentucky basketball players not receiving a paycheck. They make more money off that.
Yeah,
but at the same token, if you're part of the band, hear me out, Mike. If you're part of the band, you're encouraged to go perform. You're encouraged to put out an album. If you go to UK or you go to U of L on a singing scholarship, you're encouraged to put out an album and make money because that looks positive and the university's like.
And if you are on the band, you do get paid to play at those games. Just the FYI.
Exactly. I mean, because what that does is that brings positive light to the university without costing them a dime. If you gave Lamar Jackson $100,000, you're not getting any extra promotion, but you're losing $100,000. That's why they don't want to do that.
I'm definitely with you. It's just it's a shame that the NCAA actually just exploits these athletes like this because your normal college student, right, who has to go to who just go to class every day can go get a job. Like nobody else is besides athletes is being told you can't go work. Like what? Where is that even logic thinking? You can't go get a job. You can't get paid for this. Nobody can give you money. Just struggle because we're giving you a free education. That makes no sense to me.
But there's also academic scholarships out there too, though. So I mean, that right there is a false statement. There's academic scholarships and everything else out there. So. And
those guys can go work though. The people that's on the academic scholarships, I just don't understand why the sports scholarships is so much better.
Exactly.
I don't understand.
Let me take this sham a bit further. Imagine you send your kid to college on an academic scholarship or on a medical scholarship. They're going to be the next great doctor, the next great teacher, the next great businessman. You would be furious if your kid came home from college and they said, "Dad, I learned this." And you're like, "That's stupid. That has nothing to do with your career." And then you reach out to the university and the university tells you, "Yeah, that may not better his career, but it made the university a lot of money." It's ridiculous. Let's just listen how ridiculous that sounds. But that's the same stuff we get mad at. Like, as a Kentucky fan, why is Cal pushing these kids to go pro? Isn't that what college is for? Isn't college to better your craft so you can make money off of it?
Exactly. That's a great point.
All the time that Tim Tebow was at Florida, they said, why isn't Urban Meyer working on his passing game to better his time for the NFL? Oh, because that's not going to help him in college. What? The entire point of college is to learn everything that's going to help you as a career. But in sports, because we wear this backwards mentality with it, we need them to only benefit our university. Don't do anything that's going to benefit them. Like Lamar Jackson last year. Don't you dare stand in that pocket and learn how to pass. I need you to run so you can win games for Louisville.
Billy,
but
final
I'm telling
thoughts.
you, if your kid,
I definitely agree with I mentioned that yesterday on my show about the quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson who these coaches aren't benefiting them. They just grow up. Listen, you only going to do what I need you to do, and that's it. The hell with what you got going on later, and that's the way that the NCAA is. We don't care that you're struggling right now. We don't care that after that little stipend check gone because you only get it while you're in season. And what about the rest of the season? What about the rest of the year? Doing football, and if you're a football player, what about basketball season, and baseball season, soccer season, when you're not doing anything and that check is gone? But you're telling me I can't go get a job. You're telling me I can't sign my own autograph, my name. You're telling me I can't sign my name for money. It's the NCAA is a scam, and that's the way it is because and then you tell these guys they can't go pro straight out of high school. Well, golf do it, tennis do it. You can go run track right out of high school. You can go play all these other sports except for baseball and football. But you're telling these guys, listen, you can't go work. But all those other guys can go sign for millions.
Once again, playing devil's advocate, that's not an NCAA. The NBA says you have to be out of high school 1 year. The NFL says you got to be out of high school 3 years. So as much as I'm all for you, the NCAA is a scam. It's me first. It's hiding behind this amateur word. I got to defend them on that because that's the NBA rule. That's the NFL rule that you got to be out 3 years.
Let me just clarify this. The rule for the NFL is 3 years out of high school, and that I can definitely see as a safety factor because you see these 35-year-old grown-ass men hitting an 18-year-old kid, breaking them in half. I mean, there's could be lawsuits just on the way. So I definitely agree with that one. But moving on here, guys. Moving on. Alrighty. So to continue our little series we got going on here, the AFC South Pick'em is up next here. Matthew Lyle, who do you have winning the AFC South this year?
My heart says Jacksonville. That says that they done everything last year. Leonard Fournette's going to be better. That defense is going to be even better. It's going to be hungrier. But the NFL doesn't always lend itself to growth like that. Sometimes the NFL, you come out there hot year 1 and year 2, and then you find yourself backwards year 3. 2 years ago, everyone said Jacksonville's your favorite team, and they went 5-11. They went Jacksonville's going to shock people, 5-11 or 6-10. I don't remember their exact record, but they didn't live up to the hype. Last year they were. I don't trust Andrew Luck. I don't trust him. He's still throwing Nerf balls or whatever he's doing. The Texans, the Texans, they got a lot of promise, but how healthy is J.J. Watt? Is Deshaun Watson going to come back and be anything remotely near what he showed glimpses of last year? The Titans, they're one of those teams that you just struggle to trust. I think they're going to go 10-6, 9-7 per use, but they're going to lose the first round of the playoffs.
Well, they beat Kansas City last year. Shake my damn head.
Well, Kansas City, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Kansas City give that one away? I mean, and then they turned around and got shellacked by the Patriots. I mean, they clearly weren't ready for that stage.
Yeah, it was ugly.
So I'm going to go who I would like to see here, and I'm going to go with the Texans. I'm going to go that maybe Deshaun Watson's able to come back and be somewhat of what he showed. A strong defense. They added Tyrann Matthews. Hopefully J.J. Watt. I really like J.J. Watt as a person, and I like his motor on the field. I'd like to see him get 16 good games. Jadeveon Clowney's going to take that next step. So I'm going with the Texans here.
All right, let me write that down for you.
Matthew is like a twin brother. Is like every question that you ask, Mike. Like we always have the same answer, but we try to spin it a different way. I'm right with him. I don't like any of these teams. Like none of them. I don't. Jacksonville, they still have Blake Bortles. Lord have mercy. Like the guy, anyways.
And I believe he just signed a really big deal too, right? If I'm
he signed a deal in the offseason. I was, you know what? It's funny because I was actually on Twitter and I was having a Twitter debate with the Jacksonville Jaguars beat writer of ESPN, Michael DeRocco, and he was telling me how great Bortles is, and I'm like, well, if he's so great, how come he's the reason why they didn't beat the Patriots when they need a throw? At the end of the half when they could have go down and extend that lead, what are they doing? They taking a knee instead with 2 timeouts, 50-some seconds left, trying to go score to extend the lead. And what happened? They lose to the Patriots.
I have to concur.
The Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson, he's coming off that ACL injury. He is a quarterback, so it may not affect him as much, but he also is a mobile quarterback. J.J. Watt, how healthy is J.J. Watt going to be? I was never a believer in Jadeveon Clowney. Never. The coach, to Matthew's point, Andrew Luck is out there throwing golf balls. Who knows if that shoulder's going to be ready? And these big defensive linemen are going to test that shoulder out. They're going to hit him and they're going to drive him into the ground. Who else? The Tennessee Titans, like he said, Tennessee is going to find a way to go 9-7, 10-6. It's like clockwork. And I was never a believer in Marcus Mariota. I didn't think he was that great of a polished passer. So by default, I'm just going to go Jacksonville. They won the division last year. They have the most returning starters. Leonard Fournette is still going to be there. They have a decent wide receiver core. They did get Austin Seferian-Jenkins this year, so that should help, secure Blake Bortles with his 5-yard passes. That defense is still nasty. Malik Jackson, Marcel Darius, Jalen Ramsey, Kelvin Smith, A.J. Bouye, Gibson. Barry Church. So just by default, I guess I'm just gonna go Jacksonville.
Okay, so Billy, let me ask you this: do you see Jacksonville making a playoff run or getting knocked out in the first game?
I believe if they can make it to the playoffs, I believe they're going to make a deep run. I mean, their team is set up to win. I mean, it reminds you of that Ravens team, where you don't have to have a great quarterback. And I do believe
the
that
defense is going to be pretty stout.
It's nasty, and I think Blake Bortles is a better quarterback than Diffler were. So and they have a better running game. I like Fournette. That's what's going to help them. Because when Bortles is not doing good, they can just hand the ball off to their 240-some-pound back that runs a 4.4 that can run by you or run through you. So I think that they can make a deep run.
All right, Matthew Lyle, does Houston make a deep run in the playoffs if they win the division?
I mean, in theory, I would say the same no matter what team wins the division. If they get depending on their favorable first-round matchup, I could say, yeah, they could get one. But I think any of the teams are going to lose when they get to the guys that have been here before. Whoever that might be, I'm not sure exactly how the playoffs would work out like that. But I think 3 of the teams would lose to the Steelers or the Patriots, and I think all 4 would probably lose to the Patriots. I feel like the way the Steelers play, the Jacksonville would have their number again, but I don't think Jacksonville has the offense to take down a playoff Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
All right, let me write this down for you guys, so when you guys are wrong, I will be sure to let you guys know. Oh, and the final topic of the day here, ESPN has come out with their projected wins for the NBA 2018-2019 season. Billy, does anything stand out to you? Anything surprisingly just something come out and say, whoa, what's going on here?
I think, well, not really from the over under. I mean, maybe 62 games for the Warriors is a tad bit of a under. I think the Warriors is probably going to be in that 68 to 70 range. But I mean, no, I mean not really. I think they pretty much got it right based on on what they think is going to happen, because it's all speculation anyways. Nobody really knows. Nobody knows if somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody get hurt, yeah, that's going to drastically change everything. So I think just on the surface, 62 wins is probably a tad bit low for the Warriors, especially them going to regain Boogie probably later on in the season. I think Boogie is at least worth 5 games at the very least. So. Yeah, I think the Warriors probably win total was a little bit low.
All right, Matthew Lyle, anything jump out of you?
Well, so I was jokingly going to go with the Warriors at 62, but I think that's somewhat realistic, especially when you get to over-unders. I mean, I think watching the Warriors, I think Steve Kerr no longer cares about getting 70-plus wins. I think he tries to find a way to give each one of his stars like a stream of games. If you notice, Klay Thompson will be out 2 weeks with a hand injury, and then so somebody will be out 2 weeks with the quad. So it kind of gives like each different unit time to gel. And I think that equates to losses sometimes. I don't know when Boogie's coming back. I think when Boogie does come back, there might be some Boogie-heavy games that could lead to some losses. The one that really shocked me, and I guess, I mean, I can't say that they're wrong, it just kind of shocked me, was the LA Lakers with 48.5 wins. I don't. That's almost 500, and they do got LeBron. So I don't know when the last time LeBron struggled that bad. I was looking before the show. I don't know. I can't even tell you. I think 2008 was the last time LeBron had less than 50 wins or less than 60 wins. So it's going to be interesting to see. If are the Lakers going to be that bad this season? Are they going to be on the? Or could we potentially see ESPN put out their bracketology real early, if that's what you would call it, with the NBA playoffs? The Lakers weren't on it. So do we see a LeBron James not only not in the finals, LeBron James not in the playoffs?
That's crazy.
I don't foresee that happening. Yeah. I don't foresee that happening. But what ESPN's telling me that the Lakers are going to go 48 and 36 or whatever it is, and LeBron's going to be an 8 seed or sitting out. That interests me. I mean, that's going to be crazy if that is the case.
That's definitely true. I didn't go to Lakers because I kind of figured that you would being that I took the Warriors. Now, Mike, another one that I felt was a little bit low was the San Antonio Spurs. They're saying that they're only going to win 43 games next year, 43 and a half. Now, I think that's a tad bit of a stretch. I believe the San Antonio Spurs can get somewhere close to that 50-game mark. DeRozan is not a bad player, and he will thrive in this Popovich system. And I think they are underestimating Greg Popovich here and overselling Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard don't make him that much better. Hear me out. When I say that much better, the fact that they're going to drop to 43 wins with a full roster, I just don't see that happening. Kawhi Leonard is great in his own right. I get it. But you're telling me that he's worth that many losses? I just don't think so. When you're getting DeMar DeRozan and you're getting a guy in Podol who we know what Pop does with these foreign guys. So 43 and a half, I thought that was a tad bit low for the San Antonio Spurs as well.
And let me throw something out to you guys here. I also see that Houston they are kind of projecting them with 54 wins like this season. Don't you guys think that's a little low with the addition of Carmelo and they still have that core? Billy?
No, I think 54 wins is right on target. I mean, they did lose a lot of key defenders from last year. They did gain Carmelo, but now you're going to have that extra time to gel, which is another reason why I thought that they did that for the Lakers, because, normally any LeBron James team is going to struggle a little bit. I think that's what they're thinking with the Houston Rockets, that it's a couple new faces, and then you add a guy like Carmelo. So you're thinking that they're probably going to take a step back because they can't get 60 wins 2 years in a row, can they? So, yeah, I think 54 is probably right on target. 54, 55, I guess that's why they went 54 and a half.
Matthew, you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm right there. I think 55 wins would be on par to where they want to be. To go back to the Spurs thing as well, they won 47 games without Kawhi or without DeRozan. So I think they could. I know they did lose some other pieces, but I think that's a little low for them too as well, Billy, for the Spurs. But I think the Rockets, 50 to 55 wins, I think is going to be solid. Just because 82 games is such a long season, and once you have your bubble busted like last year, look at the Warriors, for example. They won 73 games without Kevin Durant. But once they didn't win it, once they lost in the finals, you no longer cared about that regular season. So all those guys want to do that 82 games is get right back to where they lost. It's like playing video games. We all play video games. You get to a brand new level, and then you die at that level, and now you got to start back over at the other game. You tend to not care about those first 10 levels again. You want to get back to where you last left off. I think you're going to see that with the Rockets. They just want to wake up and be right back in the semifinals again. So I think they're going to kind of go through the motions of the season and want to get in the playoffs.
All righty. And so just for some closing thoughts here, Matthew, anything you're looking forward to this week in the sports world?
Just Kentucky going to the Bahamas.
Billy, anything you got looking forward to this weekend?
My nose started camp yesterday. It is officially Taggart's era. He brought back Mickey Andrews. I'm pumped for that. So let's go nose. Let's go shock the world. A lot of people don't think we can do it. Let's go shock the world.
And if you guys don't know, Billy, I do believe has the Florida State going to the playoffs this season. So let's kind of keep track on that and see what's going on. But as always, guys, thanks for joining us on RTF Sports Talk. We are live every Tuesday and Thursday, Sunday morning at 9:45 a.m. on YouTube and Facebook. Go ahead and please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks for joining us today, guys. Bye.